Hey, what's up, y'all? And today I'm back with part two of SEC East preview and prediction. Part two, we got Florida, Kentucky, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. So you're going to start out with Florida. Of course, last year Florida fired Dan Mullen. After a disastrous 6-6 season. Yes, 6-7 season. So now the Florida man is now a guidance counselor at a private school in Georgia. But anyway, so Florida hired Billy Napier from Louisiana. Last year he was 13 and 1 at Louisiana, with the only loss being week 1 to Texas. So anyway, but yeah, I do think that this is going to be a rough year for the Gators. So they just, they weren't very good last year to start with, and then they've just lost a lot. So they lost like their two running backs, Damian Pierce, Malik Davis, and the quarterback, Emory Jones, has hit the portal. Yeah, Florida has really been hit hard by the transfer portal. So lost Emory Jones, but they do still have Anthony Richardson. But I'm not so sure that he's really that much better than Emory Jones. Anyway, so two of the top three receivers are gone. So your number one wide receiver, Jacob Copeland, hit the transfer portal, as did the number one tight end and number 3 receiver, Kenmore Gamble, also transferring out. And then now on the defense, they do lose 5 starters on the defense. They have their leading tackler, Mahmoud Diabate, hitting the portal. And then see cornerback, Kyer Elam, defensive tackle, Zachary Carter, going to the draft. So, but anyway, so I do think that they won't be very good. So, and with the first year head coach, new coaching staff. So, but anyway, so let's get into the schedule. So they do start out week 1. You get Utah, and I think that this is a loss. Of course, Utah think they're going to be really good this year. They were the Pac-12 champion last year. So, I think Utah will beat Florida. And then next we got Kentucky. Now I know Florida won something like 31 years in a row over Kentucky. But lately, Kentucky seems to have had the upper hand, winning 2 of the last 4. And yes, I am going to go ahead and go with Kentucky here. So you start out 0-2, but good news. Now you get USF, and they're terrible. Even for a group of 5 team, that will be an easy win. And then next, you get Tennessee, who I think will be improved this year. Yes, and I think that General Voltard will be resurrected courtesy of the Gators. So that is a loss. The next you've got Eastern Washington. They're an FCS team. I know that's where Cooper Cup played at Eastern Washington, and of course he was the NFL MVP. So, but I don't think that Eastern Washington has a Cooper Cup on their team this year. So this should be an easy win. You should win by about 40 points or so. Anyway, and then next you've got Missouri. Now I know Missouri beat you last year, but I do think that Mizzou is gonna be terrible this year. So I think that you will go ahead and beat them. And then you've got LSU, and as I know, LSU has had your number the last few years. And I do think that they probably are the better team, but I do have this one as an upset win for Florida. So that takes you in your bye week, and then you play Georgia in Jacksonville. Georgia, the defending national champions. That's a loss. And then you got at Texas A&M. That's a loss. You got South Carolina. I already did South Carolina, so I have that as a loss. And then you've got at Vanderbilt. Yeah, they're terrible. That'll be an easy win. And then you've got Florida State, and now you are sitting at 5-6. Now it was the same situation last year, Florida and Florida State, both with 5 wins, trying to get bowl eligible, and just like last year, where you beat FSU and kept them out of a bowl. I think this year it's the reverse. I think FSU will beat you and keep you out of a bowl game. So yes, I do have Florida going 5-7, and 3-5 in the SEC. Hey, what's up, y'all? And yep. So now it's on to Kentucky, and last year Kentucky was 10-3. Yep, not 9-3 in the regular season, and then they beat Iowa in their bowl game. Yep, and then they started out 6-0. So, but anyway, Kentucky, who who normally leans heavily on their run game. But now they actually have a passing game. Yeah, like their quarterback Will Levis, and yes, he's coming back. And then the running backs, yeah, they still have got Chris Rodriguez coming back, and he is the SEC's leading returning rusher. He had 1,300 yards, and then also running back Cavassier Smoke. So as for their receivers, they did lose Wandale Robinson, their leading receiver, over 1,000 yards. I think it's like 1,200 something. Yeah, but he's good. But he's gone. So they do return Josh Ali, who had about 600 yards. Yes, this could be a breakout year for Josh Ali. He'll be a sixth-year senior, and his production has increased every year that he's been at Kentucky. But they may have lost Wandale Robinson, but they did get another Robinson out of the transfer portal, just like they got Wandale out of the transfer portal last year. But now this year they get Tavion Robinson from Virginia Tech. Again, his numbers really weren't that big at Virginia Tech, but he wasn't that productive at. But I mean, Wandale Robinson was not very productive at Nebraska either. So, and he's got the Tavion as the he's built like Wandale, one of these small receivers, but who's like very fast, shifty. So yeah, he could fit right into Wandale's shoes. So, but anyway, and that's for their defense. Yeah, they were really solid on defense last year. I do think that they'll be that way again this year. They return 8 starters on the defense. So yeah, including their entire defensive line. So now let's get into the schedule. So you do start out week 1 against Miami of Ohio. It's a MAC team. That'll be an easy win. And then at Florida, yeah, I just did my Florida preview, so you know that I have Kentucky winning this game, because I just think that they're just the better team. So, and Kentucky has gained the upper hand in the series recently. So, and next you get Youngstown State's and an FCS team. You get another easy win. You should win by 40 or 50. Then you got NIU. Now NIU is really not a pushover. They won the MAC last year. That they beat Georgia Tech, but I don't think that they're quite good enough to be able to compete with Kentucky, though. And then next you've got so, yeah, at Ole Miss. I do think that Ole Miss should still have a pretty good offense. With Lane Kiffin, offensive genius, and then they got that quarterback transferred from Southern Cal, Jackson Dart. So this game is on the road. So yes, I do have you losing to Ole Miss. And the next you get South Carolina. See, I already did my South Carolina preview. South Carolina gets Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma, so I do have South Carolina winning this game. And the next, moving on to Mississippi State. Now you did lose to Mississippi State last year, but you do get them at home this year, and I think that you do get them back for last year. So, and that takes you into your bye. You come out of that. You're at Tennessee. Now I've already done my Tennessee preview, so I have you losing to Tennessee, like you usually do, and then you're at Missouri. Now Mizzou's going to be terrible. You're gonna beat them, and the next you've got 3 home games to finish the season. You got Vanderbilt. That will be an easy win. And then you've got Georgia. Yeah, that's a loss. And then you've got Louisville. And that should be a win. So that puts you at 8-4 and 4-4 in the SEC. Okay, and now moving on to Missouri. Missouri was 6-7 last year. Lost to Army in their bowl game. And then, now let's see. Yeah, now there were just 5 points separating Mizzou from being 6-6 and being 4-8. So you'll see why that's important later. But anyway, so now their starting quarterback, Connor Bazelak, hit the transfer portal, decided he'd rather play at Indiana. And then also, Mizzou's entire offense was built around running back Tyler Beatty. Now he had 1,600 rushing yards, which was the most in the SEC. But anyway, he's gone now. Yeah, so Beatty had 268 carries, while the next best running back had 37 carries. So So no attempt to split the carries, which must mean that those other running backs weren't any good. And also their defense was bad last year too. So, but anyway, yeah. So it doesn't look good for Mizzou. So now we're going to get into your schedule. So now up next, you play Louisiana Tech, and and they were terrible last year, even for a Group of 5 team. So I think you'll beat them, even though La Tech used to be good. But anyway, so the next you've got at Kansas State. And I think you're gonna lose to Kansas State. And then next you've got Abilene Christian. They're an FCS team. Don't really know anything about them. So that should be an easy win. And then next you're at Auburn, and have that as a loss. And then next you get Georgia. That's going to be a giant L. And then next you're at Florida. Now again, Florida was a team that beat you last year, but you got them at home. This time you play them on the road, and I do have you losing to the Gators. And then that takes you into your bye. And then you come out of that. That's when you play. That's when you play Vanderbilt, and they're just gonna be absolutely horrible this year. I do think I think it'll be close, but I do think that you'll beat them. And then next you're at South Carolina. Now I know that you beat South Carolina last year at home. This year it's on the road, and I do have you going ahead and losing to South Carolina. And then next you've got Kentucky. That's a loss. I already did Kentucky. Then you're at Tennessee. I already did Tennessee. You're losing to Tennessee. And then you've got New Mexico State. They're a terrible team. You'll beat them. Then you've got Arkansas, and that's going to be a loss. So that does put you at 4-8 and 1-7 in the SEC. Okay, now let's talk about Vanderbilt. Now, we already know that Vandy is just absolutely horrible. Yeah, they have not won an SEC game since 2019. So yeah, now of course last year they were 2-10, 0-8 in the SEC. Lost to East Tennessee State. So anyway, yeah, now they're absolutely terrible, and there really is no hope for them. Yes, I mean they literally have no offense. They scored 15 points a game last year. Yeah, 15 points a game. and they allowed 35 a game. So they're really just terrible on both sides of the ball. And I mean, they really have no talent. The cupboard is bare. So anyway, so now let's get on to their schedule here. Now I'm not going to beat around the bush too much. As far as for Vandy, now I can't see them doing any better than 4-8. I think that's their ceiling, and that would and even 4-8 would be a miracle. Maybe they win all 3 of their non-Power 5 games, and maybe they get Wake Forest or a team in the SEC, but I don't see that happening. So so in their non-con they do play at Hawaii, Elon, Wake Forest, and at NIU. Now Wake Forest, that's a loss. So now I do think that they will beat Elon, their FCS. So, and they've also got at Hawaii, at NIU. Now I think that they will split those 2, and I think that they will beat Hawaii in week 0, and then lose to NIU in week 3. So, and then Vandy also has 2 bye weeks because they play Hawaii in week 0. I do have Vandy beating Hawaii and Elon and losing to everyone else. So that puts Vandy's record at 2-10 and 0-8 in the SEC. So anyway, so that's going to be it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again next time.